Alright, hello folks. Today we're going to be making a knife handle for this knife here. I made a sheath for it a long time ago out of cardboard and electrical tape, but it's a pretty nice, interesting knife. I actually found this in a shed back when we lived in California, and it was completely covered in rust. Like you can see, there's still some deep pitting, but I took most of the rust off and cleaned the blade up a lot, and then I put a bevel on it, and the tip broke off, so I had to regrind the spine a little bit, and the front to bring it back to a point. It was originally a 12-inch blade, now it's an 11-inch blade, so 1 inch broke off pretty much from the tip, but it looks pretty good, and now it just needs a handle. I had some piece of foam electrical taped on there before, but I want it to look halfway decent, so we have this piece of 1/4-inch cherry wood here, and I think that'll make a good handle. I bought this for actually a different project, but it's going to work good for a handle, I think. And so I already traced out, and so we can cut these out, get the rough shape, and then epoxy them on and sand them down. So I wrapped this towel around here, or this rag, so the wood wouldn't get damaged. Because I need to get job pads for this, but it'll work fine. I'm sorry, I might be. Who said hand sawing had to take long? That worked pretty good. Yep, didn't damage the wood at all. Cherry wood is a hardwood too, so it should be a nice durable handle. Alright, so I left lots of space around it, but I can sand it down on the belt sander. Alright, so recently I got this belt sander, which is very nice. I've always wanted a belt sander because it's great for, making nice, flat, true surfaces, and also sanding really quickly. And it also comes with a disc sander, I believe this is 6-inch, that you can do miter sanding on. And so that's pretty nice. It's pretty expensive as well. So we're going to be sanding these to try to get closer to the lines. I'm not going to go all the way up to them, but just get a little closer before I actually glue it on. Okay, not bad, not bad. I'm sure the lighting's terrible. It's bright enough to work in, but filming takes more light. I'm sorry, but you can see that it's a lot closer now. Yeah, this disc sander goes really fast. Belt sander too. I've used it a good bit now. So you could put pins through here, and that'd be the best way to do it. You drill holes and epoxy metal pins in and drill them through the wood as well on both sides. But I don't think I'm going to do that. It would look really cool, but I don't have the pins, and it's just going to be some extra work. So I think I'm just going to epoxy them on. The only problem is, so this side over here is kind of concave, the handle. I think this whole knife was like hand forged because there's some slight imperfections, like in the symmetry and stuff. You can kind of see right there, and the tang is a little bit uneven, but it's pretty cool. Honestly, that adds to the coolness. So on this side it's concave, so this fits on there well, but on this side it's convex, and you can see I already took the belt sander to it a little bit in an attempt to fix that, but basically it can rock on there. There's some space, so we need to do something about that, like try to flatten this side out more, or try to grind a concavity into this piece of wood here so it'll sit on there well. And of course, whatever, it's fine if there's little gaps because the epoxy will just fill that in. See, I might like try to get the handle like this or something. So you can see that it's only sanding in the middle and not on either side, which, you know, shows that this is indeed a convex surface. It's not fully flat. But I don't want to remove too much material. Alright, well, I'll let you know when I have these fitted a little bit better. Alright, well, I clamped them together and did the ends because when they're on the knife like this, the end, you can't access it very well because this piece is in the way here. So I kind of got them shaped up a little bit, which is good. The only thing is, YouTube's really not going to like this, but yeah, that disc sander will eat your knuckles for breakfast, and that's not very comfortable. So yeah, I need to put a band-aid on that. It's kind of deep actually, but so that's unfortunate, but it is coming pretty good. Alright, so it's been like 2 days, and unfortunately I'm sick right now, so yeah, my voice is going to sound a little weird. But we're now going to get these scales epoxied on. So we just have some old 2-part epoxy here, and we'll mix it up in equal parts and glue this thing on and clamp it. We should be good to go. Alright. Okay. This one's thicker. Okay. And it's way too cold outside for this stuff to dry, so that's why I'm doing it inside, and the lighting's a little poor because it's nighttime. Well, they're in place. Oh man, I have so much epoxy on my fingers. Alright, now all that's left to do is let it dry. Alright, so the handle is fully glued on at this point and dried. It's the next day. And this stuff is actually quite strong, so I think there's a good bond. And now we can start sanding down the handle to follow the contours of this metal tang underneath. And yeah, actually it's really nice and warm right now. It's 51 degrees in December, and so that's pretty warm for here. Alright, well, I'm going to be more careful this time, because last time I found out the hard way that this sander very quickly grinds through your skin. Smells like cherries. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of material to remove in there. The top side wasn't too bad, but in there it's like a quarter inch. Probably should be wearing a mask for this. So yeah, the top we now have down to the metal, and the end here is just this part on the inside, because the way the handle is shaped, it has a bump here, so you can't just put it flat on there because you'll grind off that bump before you get into this groove. So I think I can try, you can do it with this convex surface here on the belt sander, but I also might try using this grinding wheel. Dude, my camera's covered. Might try using this grinding wheel to get in there a little bit, even though it's not meant for wood. It actually does wood decently. well. It kind of burns the wood, but that's okay, because I'm going to obviously do more sanding. It is coming pretty good. You can see we got contact on the metal almost all the way around. Alright, so now we're just gonna kind of use this to get into these little areas and clean it up a little bit. Alright, next we're going to move on to hand sanding. So we'll pop it in the vise here.
handle is more or less done now. I mean, in terms of the sanding. So you can see it turned out pretty nice looking. The thing is, the epoxy, some of it along the edge there was a gap, so you can see where the epoxy where it kind of filled in along the gap, and especially under here there's a lot of epoxy left, but that's okay, it'll still look fine. And you can see it looks nice. This is only up to 220 grit. I think I might take 600 grit on this nice big flat piece here and really polish it. But first we got to unwrap the blade. I put masking tape on the blade in an attempt to keep it from getting damaged at all, or the edge getting dulled, and so I wouldn't cut myself while I was handling it. But now the satisfying part. Not coming off in one big thing. Alright, so you can see it is a beautiful knife in my opinion. Just the shape and everything. Unfortunately, we did get into the spine a little bit here with the belt sander, so I think I'm going to go over that a little bit, and maybe there's, I think, one spot where I got into the side here in some spots. So I'm just going to touch it up, and then I'll show you guys when I oil the handle. Alright, so I polished up the blade a little bit. You can see the reflection of my hand, just with some 600 grit sandpaper, just a little bit, and then some steel wool. And yeah, it is looking pretty nice. Once again, it's nighttime, so the lighting's not great. I think I'll show it tomorrow in the sunlight so you can see the color of the wood. But now we're going to oil it, which will seal in the wood and help it bring out the grain and everything. And we're just going to be using some mineral oil for that. Very pure mineral oil. Doesn't really need to be this pure. It's actually food grade, but I don't know why you need to drink it, but anyways, it's good for wood. So we'll just put some on a paper towel like that, and then start putting it on the wood. Oops, sorry. And it's okay to put plenty of excess. Let it really soak into the wood. Like, really want it down in there. And then we'll go ahead and put it on the knife blade as well, this is some kind of carbon steel, so it'll keep it from rusting, developing any surface rust or anything. Right, and now we'll let it sit for a little bit and absorb into that wood, a couple minutes, and then we'll wipe off the excess and it'll be done. It's been sitting for a few minutes. I'm just wiping off the excess. The wood will absorb whatever is left, so it won't continue to be greasy. Alright, so I waited till the next day when the lighting's much better so you can actually see this thing. So yeah, it actually has, the handle has a nice, I thought it'd be more pink, because usually cherry wood, you think of it as being rather pink, but it's kind of got a reddish with a little pink and a little orange, and it works very well with this knife. I didn't know if the color would look good, but it does, I think. And yeah, it is pretty nice. And it is sharp. You can see here I'll whittle this popsicle stick. This is what I use to mix the epoxy. Well, I shot it far. Yeah. Try a little piece of paper. It's kind of thick, kind of cardstock paper. It has a working edge on it, but it cuts good. Oh yeah. Boy, I got a mess to clean up. Well, yeah, that'll be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this process of getting this handle made, gluing it on and shaping it and everything. Maybe it encouraged you to do some project like this. Woodworking is really fun and it doesn't require too many tools. The belt sander is a nice thing to have, but I could have done it without it. It'd just take longer. So you can make stuff without a ton of advanced tools. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.